This is Camnet Television Main News. Welcome. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. Our top stories in the news: 4,000 MUMBWA residents at the verge of losing land to an investor. VEEP attributes the rise in MEALIE-MEAL prices to greediness by millers. Court issues another arrest warrant against KAIZER ZULU. In international news, women in India set fire to house of Manipur assault main suspect. And in sports news, Copper Queens midfielder CHANDA ruled out of the World Cup.
Hello Zambia. Greetings to all soccer-loving Zambians. I'm Dr. Sten Kusi from the Czech Republic, and I will bring with me soccer agent Mr. Jakub Skibik and the coach Mr. Pavel Ondrečka, both from the Czech Republic as well. The Football League in the Czech Republic is a qualitative and competitive league in the world. Knowing that, there are a lot of highly talented footballers in Zambia. All of us will be visiting Zambia from the 2nd to 6th of August 2023 in partnership with Camnet Football Academy. Agent and coach will come to Lusaka, Zambia to look at promising young Zambian players. Chances are that hard-working players may get engagement in the Czech Republic and including other European leagues. We look forward to seeing you at the tournament, which will be organized by Pastor Moses Chiluba of Camnet Television. See you soon!
And now the details in our news. Over 4,000 residents of MUMBWA district in Central Province are facing eviction after an investor identified as Simfukwe issued a land title covering an area of over 2,633 hectares. The residents of Mululi in Chief Mono's area have since appealed to the government to come to their rescue, as the said investor has threatened to evict them with a promise of giving them at least 2 acres each. But Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua has assured the residents that government will not allow the alleged investor to evict them, and has also directed the residents not to pay the 10,000 kwacha as legal fees, which was agreed upon when the alleged owner, Simfukwe, threatened to take the matter to court. Here's a report.
For generations, land has been the lifeblood of various citizens countrywide, as it provides shelter and steered development. Land conflicts are now a common ground in Zambia, with reasons ranging from overlapping land rights to disagreements over land boundaries. This is the case of Mululi residents in Chief Mono's area of MUMBWA district, who are appealing to the government to come to their rescue, as an investor is claiming ownership of the land they have been settling on since 1926. The over 4,000 residents explain that Mr. Simfukwe claims the land ownership and has since sold 100 hectares from 2,633 hectares of the land and has placed boundary beacons around the contentious piece of land. The residents are scared of losing their only inheritance, as they wonder why it has taken Mr. Simfukwe more than 90 years to claim ownership of the land. The residents have vowed not to leave the said land.
Muno kutino tukakalei ono twanguluka ikwamba kuti mwatwangulula kambo population y'abantu yahuliya tukwete bana bamuchala ino tulakaba bikali ono twanguluka alumbwe wa magamu ali mutuli bankungulume kuli mpechirire tuchitelya kutandwa mumushi tatuchitenguzi yakwamba tukayekoko tukakuyake mandambi tatuchite
mabikoni koko wabika mabikoni paka muchindi nguwezu nishoni twakateraika kwamba baabeta checho chindi chimwi kenteko aro bakaswangana kuli bakaso secretary then tuvwao twakatarika kuterera bya kuterera ne wabika mabikoni koku wabika mabikoni indakapanga meeting okwambira abantu ne wezu muntu atumukwate.
This move by the alleged owner, Mr. Simfukwe, has irked MUMBWA Central Member of Parliament, Credo Nanjua, who says government will not allow an individual to evict more than 4,000 families, especially that there has been no visible investment on the said piece of land in the last 96 years. Mr. Nanjua's sentiments come in the wake of attempts by the alleged man claiming ownership, Mr. Simfukwe, to evict more than 4,000 residents with a promise of giving them at least 2 acres each. But Mr. Nanjua, who is also Central Province Minister, says 2,633 hectares of land is a huge portion and will not allow people to suffer.
But any investment that affects our people negatively, I think it is an investment that we will not receive with 2 hands. Because an investment is here to improve the livelihood of our people. We are supposed to support the investment. But if the investment is fighting us, it's not a good investment. As provincial administration, we are inviting investors into the province to come and invest. As the area member of parliament for MUMBWA, I'm inviting investors to come and invest in the constituency. But that investment should affect our people positively.
The over 2,633 hectares of land is alleged to have 3 title deeds of 1914, 1926 and 1974. The affected residents, through their village traditional council, were directed to contribute 10,000 per village towards legal fees once the matter is in court. But Mr. Nanjua has assured the resident that government will handle all the legal conditions through the office of the Attorney General. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News.
A senior citizen of Chiwampala area in Chingola district on the Copper Belt has complained over a blocked sewer system that has been posing serious health risks to the community. George Chela tells Camnet News that the residents in the area are being forced to wear face masks due to the bad odor being caused by the overflowing sewer. Mr. Chela says efforts have been made to contact Mulonga Water and Storage Company, but that they have failed to respond to the urgent calls by the residents.
Blockage have been here for 2 months, and we have reported it to Mulonga Water and Sewerage, but to no avail. Now, as you can see, we are very near the houses, and this blockage is just in the road. As a result, the scent or the smell which is coming from this area is unbearable. We have reported it to Mulonga, but nothing has been happening. As a result, we are now appealing to the authority, whom it may be, either Noasco or WOMA, to intervene in this issue.
Some residents of Lusaka's Kamala South in Kabwata constituency have called on the area member of parliament, Andrew Tayengwa, to find a lasting solution to prevent flooding at the only clinic in the area before the onset of the rainy season. One of the residents, Jonas Piri, has told Camnet News that the clinic is usually closed during the rainy season, making it difficult for them to access health services. But Area Councillor Mainda Simata says short-term measures are already underway to rehabilitate the clinic with the use of the Constituency Development Fund's CDF. More in this report.
Healthcare access is the ability to obtain healthcare services such as prevention, diagnosis, treatment and management of diseases, disorders and other health impacting conditions. Zambia subscribes to the United Nations Sustainable Goals, which should be achieved by 2030, with goal number 3, focusing on ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all, with targets on achieving universal healthcare coverage, including financial risk protection and access to quality essential healthcare services for all. But residents of Lusaka's Kamala South area are urging the local leadership to rehabilitate Kamala South Clinic before the rainy season, as it gets flooded and affects its operations. The residents are calling on Area Member of Parliament Andrew Tayengwa to ensure the clinic is improved to withstand natural calamities such as floods.
We want to take our plea to the relevant authorities to say, please, as there is still time, please try to work on this. The last time the president even came here to inspect, even these other government officials, they came to inspect. They saw the pressure that we had here. But if from that time up to now, I think it's 2 to 3 months ago, everybody has just disappeared. So we are still waiting to say, please, help us with this thing. We are pleading to the council, to the councillor, even to the.
For 5 months. So tuvuna kuti ati I clinic bayike konzeru maningi. Ndiye tuvuna.
Others are calling for a proper drainage system, which they say works are shoddy and unwarranted.
The drainage system is poorly done. Not even one day we have seen it. The same person, the so-called the PF, the MP of this constituency.
Tunavutikira paja batandize kuchipa madrenage batpangire munga mwe wanakumbira hapa. So yonse kuchokera oku konse batitandize chende fike kuja mwe wangatandizire kozi za kwanisa futi ile season ikafika. Tamba futi kuvutika manzi futi bamboleta futi maskaveta kuti kumba futi nishi kulibeveti za chita so watandize ko chepang'ono oro bana ba school kuno swezoenda buno bwino kuchokera ku majombo balibe so yezo peze kati madrenage munga mwe bana kumbira hapa anatandiza ko manzi aenda ndiko amboenda bana ba school.
Meanwhile, area councillor Mainda Smata says the challenges will be abated with time as a short-term plan is already in execution.
As Kamwala Ward 5 councillor, I would like to acknowledge that yes, I've received concerns from residents of Kamwala about the needs that are there in terms of rehabilitating and completing the Kamwala South Health Post, which, as you know, is the only available health post catering to about 20,000 people in the ward catchment area. I would like to reassure the residents of Kamwala that we have plans underway to not only rehabilitate the clinic, but as at now through the CDF, we are going to complete the construction of the maternity wing. Further, we are going to complete, before the beginning of the rain season, we are going to complete drainage works so that the clinic is not flooded, because you are aware last rain season it was flooded and it had to be closed for a period of about 4 months. So those are the current measures that we are putting in place to ensure that the clinic, number one.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Patriotic Front PF members of parliament have described the removal of street vendors from Lusaka's central business district as inhumane, as no concrete alternative has been put in place. PF Chief Whip Stephen Kampyongo says in as much as everyone wants a clean city, street vendors are vending due to lack of trading facilities, which is as a result of lack of completion of the Simon Mwewa Lane markets and limited spaces in other markets. And Mpika Member of Parliament Francis Kapianga adds that the removal of vendors could have been accompanied with empowerment, adding that people are trading on the streets due to inadequate capital. More in the following report.
It is the 4th day since government moved in to remove street vendors in the central business district of Lusaka. Whilst other stakeholders have commended the removal of street vendors, Patriotic Front PF MPs have expressed reservations. Speaking during their weekly interactive forum, the PF MPs said the removal of vendors from the streets was hasty, as no meaningful alternatives have been provided.
I remember in 2005 or so, the then MMD administration of President Levi Mwanawasa did the same. What followed was high rate of criminality in Lusaka. It was ears were being slashed by criminals at night, hands were being cut by criminals at night. We don't want to experience the same.
We need to understand that the capital for those people is very small. And if someone lives in Chivoria or Kanyama, and then you say there is a trading space in Chirenje, how much are they going to be incurring transport to go to Chirenje and take up that trading space? Let's look at this whole picture holistically.
Meanwhile, the lawmakers have urged government to tell the public how the return of vendetta at KCM will benefit the country.
About the way forward at KCM, about the way forward at Mopani, must be an announcement that will also explain how the Zambians are going to benefit in terms of direct jobs, in terms of the supply chain. We just don't want to hear that here is the new investor without outlining how is that investor going to take care of the interests of the workers, of the interests of the suppliers and the Zambian-owned industries.
KCM was not government, it was the people. Government are just to act. Alongside that also, government was acting on the 2013-2014 forensic audit which was taken. So number very blind. Why are they blind? We want them to tell us the vendetta. Is it a rebranded vendetta? Is it the same vendetta?
The members of parliament have also defended their silent protest in parliament, claiming it is an expression of the injustices being committed by some presiding officers.
Understand that members just want to be treated equally, and they have used this opportunity to see how their colleagues have been treated. I also want to say that we stand with the Honourable Member of Parliament for Chiangi, an independent Member of Parliament who has been sent home for what is alleged to be transgressions that was committed by other members who are not punished in the same way. Again, this is the kind of unfairness that we are speaking against.
For Camnet TV News, I am Kaptula Afias in Lusaka.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, has maintained that there is nothing wrong with the party's Secretary General Batuke Imenda in monitoring and inspecting the Constituency Development Fund CDF-funded projects across the country. UPND Special Assistant for Mobilization in the Office of the Secretary General, Michael Chuzu, says the people gave the party the mandate to preside over the affairs of the country. Mr. Chuzu says that by monitoring the CDF-funded projects, Mr. Imenda is not undermining anyone and that he has not gone against any law. Various stakeholders have condemned the move, saying it is not the role of the party to monitor and inspect the CDF projects.
Do you want us as a party who have been given the mandate by the Zambians after the CDF has gone in the constituency? You wanted my SG to be seated in the office. And you wanted my SG to go to the people in 2026 and said, we have done this, we have done, without him knowing what is on the ground. We are not undermining anyone. Even the minister, what we are trying to do is it true according to our manifesto? The things which the president cannot be everywhere. The minister cannot be everywhere. It is us as people in the party structure now, as the Secretary General of the party, the Chief Executive, and this is a group where I belong myself. I belong to the office of the Secretary General. I am the Special Assistant of Mobilization. How am I going to mobilize the party if what we promised hasn't yet been done? So now it is us. I want to assure you, we have got this, but this is the manifesto plan. This is the manifesto which we sold it to people. Tender here. And if we don't follow this book, we are done.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, has suspended Chienge Member of Parliament, Given Katuta, from participating in any parliamentary activities for 7 days. Ms. Muti, in delivering her ruling before the floor of the House Friday morning, alleged that the offence committed by Reverend Katuta on the 14th of June 2023, when she walked out of Parliament sounding and pointing fingers at both Katomora Member of Parliament Clement Andeleki and herself, was so mean and cannot go unpunished. This is in a matter in which Katombora Member of Parliament Clement Andeleki raised a point of order on whether Reverend Katuta acted in accordance with the law in the manner in which she walked out of the House on the 14th of June 2023 when the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, asked her to leave. Meanwhile, Vice President Mudalena Lumango has attributed the rise in MEALIE-MEAL prices to greed by some millers who want to take advantage of the increased prices of maize. Here's a report.
Of June 2023, Chienge Member of Parliament Given Katuta verbally attacked the House, including the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, who ordered her to leave the House due to gross misconduct.
With Honorable respect, Minister, just say order. Order, Honorable Member for Chienge, please leave the House and don't come back. Yeah, I will name you now. I'm going to name you if you continue on those lines.
This development was challenged by Katombola Member of Parliament Clement Andeleki, who raised a point of order on whether Reverend Katuta acted in accordance with the law in the manner in which she walked out of the House. But the Speaker, in a ruling, said she will first need to review the matter to make a ruling. And on Friday, 21st July 2023, the Speaker has finally made a ruling by suspending Reverend Katuta from undertaking any parliamentary activities for 7 days, as the offence committed could not go unpunished.
Reverend G.M. Katuta MP, your conduct of pointing and shouting at the Honourable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development and I in the House is unbefitting the conduct of a Member of Parliament.
Reverend Katuta was then asked to walk a walk of shame out of the House.
I now order you, Reverend G.M. Katuta MP, to take the walk of shame and leave the chamber through the main entrance of the chamber. On 7 days suspension with effect from today, 19th July to 25th July 2023. I thank you.
Meanwhile, Vice President Mutalena Lumango, during the question and answer session, has attributed the rise in mealie-meal prices in the country to, among other things, greediness by the millers.
Contributing factor that comes to mind is sometimes the greed of the chain, the business people, including mainly the millers. How much are they adding to the cost? I think that we should all be patriotic enough to ensure that you can have profit, but not inflated, cost, so that people start failing to do that. Maybe let me use this opportunity, Madam Speaker, particularly to colleagues, the millers, that it is important that you think of the Zambian because they are your clients. For the continuity of your business, you should think of the client. Make profit, but not exaggerated profit.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Former presidential political advisor KAIZER ZULU has been issued with another bench warrant by the Lusaka Magistrates Court. Magistrate Mutinta Mwenya issued an arrest warrant against Mr. ZULU Friday morning following his continued failure to appear before her in a matter where he is facing a criminal charge. Meanwhile, Magistrate Mwenya has issued summons against Mr. ZULU's sureties. This is in a case in which Mr. ZULU is accused of concealing a government vehicle, a Toyota Land Cruiser VX, contrary to the laws of Zambia. More in this report.
Another arrest warrant has been issued against former presidential political advisor KAIZER ZULU. Lusaka Magistrate Mutinta Mwenya has issued a bench warrant against Mr. ZULU in a case involving concealing a government vehicle. This morning, Friday, the 21st of July 2023, Magistrate Mwenya said Mr. ZULU has repeatedly been given the opportunity to appear in court but has failed to do so. Before her, the accused is facing a charge of convention not amounting to theft, an allegation contrary to Section 291 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia, a charge which he has denied before the courts of law. In this case, the state alleges that Mr. ZULU, between the 19th of November 2019 and the 25th of March 2022, unlawfully and without claim of right, did convert to use a motor vehicle registration number GRZ 759. In the previous court session, prosecution witnesses, among them one Mr. Crispin Walia, a senior transport officer at State House, testified that on the 6th of March 2015, A Toyota Land Cruiser GRZ was bought by the Ministry of Works and Supply, and he was assigned to collect the said vehicle and attach it to the accused as his personal to-order vehicle. The witness testimony indicated that sometime in 2019, when the accused left office, he was informed by the accused secretary then that he had purchased the said GRZ vehicle, which was allocated to him during his tenure in office. However, there is no documentation record to confirm the same. Mr. Zulu has been at large. Another magistrate earlier issued a bench warrant against him. The arresting officer and his sureties earlier this week assured the court that they are doing everything possible to find him. The new bench warrant issued against the accused is returnable on the 4th of August 2023. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
An arresting officer has narrated before the Lusaka High Court how his investigations led him to arrest 5 suspects, among them a female student, for the alleged murder of a veterinary doctor, Evans Mwengwe. A detective inspector based at Anti-Robbery Squad Lusaka Division, Elson Jitambala, says the accused allegedly attacked and robbed the deceased vehicle. In this matter, Kenani Jere, 23, a businessman, Kigan Zulu, 38, a businessman, Josat Tembo, Wubala Mukatasha, and Doris Ndumba, 23, a female student, are accused to have between 10th and 12th June 2021 attacked and killed Dr. Mwengwe after he offered them a lift from Kabwe and got away with his vehicle and other items. More in this report.
Chilling testimony came Friday morning in the veterinary Dr. Evans Mwengwe's murder trial. The Lusaka High Court was forced to endure a grisly narrative describing details of what the accused allegedly told police about the day Dr. Mwengwe was murdered. The courtroom was packed with stunned faces as the arresting officer in the matter, Detective Inspector Elson Chitambala from the Anti-Robbery Squad, Lusaka Division, testified how his investigations led him to arrest the 5 suspects, among them a female student, for the alleged murder of the deceased. Chitambala was testifying in a case in which 23-year-old Kenani Jere, businessman, Kigan Zulu, 38-year-old Joseph Tembo, a businessman, Bubala Mkatanchi, and 23-year-old female student Doris Ndumba are accused of having brutally attacked and killed Dr. Mwengwe between the 10th and the 12th of June 2021 after he offered them a lift from Kawe and got away with his vehicle and other items. According to the arresting officer testimony, after the alleged murder, the accused started dismantling the deceased vehicle and sought the spare parts. Kenan Jerry and Doris Ndumba led the police to a scene reconstruction. During the same scene reconstruction, the 2 suspects led the officers to a certain lodge in Lusaka, where it is alleged that the 2 had lodged in the early hours of June 11, 2021, and in their possession was a Mercedes-Benz with the same features belonging to the deceased. The witness testified that according to court records, Kenan Jerry was in Kawe during the day and indicated that he was in Lusaka on June 11, 2021. Apart from the murder allegations, the 5 accused persons are facing aggravated robbery charges. They are alleged to have stolen Dr. Mwengwe's Infinix phone valued at 5,000 kwacha, 1 MacBook laptop valued at over 23,000 kwacha, 2 bags of maize valued at 300 kwacha, and 1 motor vehicle, namely Mercedes-Benz, valued at 14,500 United States dollars. Charges they denied before the courts of law. Late 2021, the accused were discharged on a nolle prosequi, but later re-arrested and brought back to court, prompting the murder trial to restart once again. The matter stands adjourned. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Lusaka Principal Resident Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya has excused herself from handling a matter in which Zambia Must Prosper President Kelvin Fube is accused of engaging in a transaction that involved proceeds of crime. Magistrate Munyinya says she has declared interest in handling the matter because one of her relatives is a tenant to one of the accused, Walia Kalandanya. Magistrate Munyenya has since sent back the matter for reallocation. Mr. Fube, a lawyer by profession, is jointly charged with Lusaka businessman and music promoter Walia Kalandanya, Beauty Chama, a clerk, Ibrahim Mita and Hassan Hanif Mita, both businessmen. They are facing charges of money laundering and failing to report a suspicious transaction. Allegations in one of the counts is that the accused negligently failed to submit a suspicious report to the Financial Intelligence Crimes Center. Further allegations are that whilst acting together, the quintet engaged in a transaction that involved proceeds of crime. This is Camnet Television News. Join us for more news after the break.
In our quest to serve nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Hello Zambia. Greetings to all soccer-loving Zambians. I'm Dr. Sten Pusi from the Czech Republic, and I will bring with me soccer agent Mr. Jakub Skibik and the coach Mr. Pavel Ondračka, both from the Czech Republic as well. Football league in the Czech Republic is a qualitative and competitive league in the world. Knowing that, there are a lot of highly talented footballers in Zambia. All of us will be visiting Zambia from the 2nd to 6th of August 2023 in partnership with Camnet Football Academy. Agent and coach will come to Lusaka, Zambia to look at promising young Zambian players. Chances are that hard-working players may get engagement in the Czech Republic and including other European leagues. We look forward to seeing you at the tournament, which will be organized by Pastor Moses Chiluba of Camnet Television. See you soon!
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Minister of Technology and Science Felix Mutati has advised parents to differentiate between positive and obstructive use of social media to protect their children. Speaking during the launch of the dissemination meeting for the 2022 National Survey on Access and Usage of ICTs by Households and Individuals Friday, Mr. Mutati says the positive usage of digital platforms has capability to encourage productive interactions and exchange of ideas. Meanwhile, Zambia Information and Communications Technology Authority ZICTA Director General Cholwell Nalubamba discloses that the survey covers a collection of topics to enable citizens to make up-to-date decisions as they use ICTs. Here's a report.
In a world driven by technology, the importance of the Information Communication Technology Survey report cannot be overstated, as it acts as a beacon of light, illuminating the path towards progress and prosperity for Zambia's digital landscape. The report is more than just numbers and graphs, a key to unlocking the country's untapped potential, empowering both the government and private sector to make informed decisions that shape the future. On such grounds, Minister of Science and Technology Felix Mutati has called for proper usage of social media to propel development in the country. Speaking during the launch of the Zambia Information Communications Authority ZICTA's dissemination meeting for the 2022 National Survey on Access and Usage of ICTs by Households and Individuals Friday, 21st July 2023, the minister tasked parents to distinguish between positive and obstructive use of social media to protect their children while spurring development.
Whatever you do, it's about thank you, I have received. Nothing else matters. All those complicated things that you talk about, they don't matter, because today you must be able to scratch where it itches. And where it's itching is for the customer to appreciate the delivery of service. Not how complicated you create the platforms. That is the detail. That's backroom office. And you're going to...
Speaking at the launch, Zambia Statistician General Mulenga Musepa called for the need to close the gap between dissemination and the use of the survey report launched by ZICTA to create understanding among citizens on ICT's impact on various sectors.
We're going to be given, I would urge ministries, departments and provinces to apply a proportion of the money to collection of statistics. That is the only way you'll be able to assess whether the interventions, the programs that are being implemented are having an impact or you're moving towards your intended targets. Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult for us to see the impact of.
And Zambia Information and Communication Technology Authority ZICTA Director General Cholwell Nalubamba says the survey covers a range of topics to enable Zambians to make informed decisions in their usage of ICTs.
Access and usage of ICTs, digital technologies, the online risks and mitigation. It also brings out issues such as digital financial services and their rollout. But it also raises or highlights the challenges that are associated to access to these services. This report for us is the basis upon which government will be able to make data-driven.
Meanwhile, Bank of Zambia Director Payment Systems Miriam Kamuhuza is optimistic that the survey will help put in place policies that create a digitally empowered population.
The survey provides a rich source of information that will guide policies and actions to leverage the potentials of ICTs for sustainable development in Zambia. We need to build on the progresses that we've already achieved thus far. We also need to address the disparities that I touched on and the challenges, and also seize the opportunities that are provided by the digital transformation that is happening in this country. As the central bank, we remain willing and available.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The National Union of Public and Private Educators of Zambia, NUPEZ, has clarified that the union has not swindled any of its members' resources which they paid for pieces of land which the union promised it will give its members in Kitwe on the Copper Belt. NUPE's General Secretary Nelson Mwale has clarified that the union had already secured land through the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, but that another individual through the local authority acquired a title to the said land. Mr. Mwale says the union has been adequately resolving the matter and that it is almost concluding the negotiation after having engaged the Ministry of Lands and the Kitwe City Council. He has since advised the union members to stop scandalizing the union, which he says is working to serve the interests of its members.
A piece of land is actually on title through the Minister of Lands, but regrettably it was found to have been encroached, through the process of the City Council. And so both the Minister of Lands and the City Council are at the moment trying to do a reconciliation so that possibly we do a deed swap with the person who is sitting on our land, which is, titled. And so, as I'm speaking now, we have people. We have the vendor, we have one of our directors, we have the lawyers of the person who has encroached. They are all sitting down with both Minister of Lands and City Council trying to resolve this matter. Our comrades at Minister of Lands and the councils and the local authority, they work using their own time. And so that is what has been happening. Otherwise, to allege that the union has actually swindled or duped our members is regrettable, because whichever office you go to, whichever relevant office you visit, you find this documentation is there. This land is titled. I'm sure the title will be made available to the media for them to see. And so we are calling upon our members to remain patient, because this thing is almost being sorted out. And all those who are championing, the fight against the union over this issue, I'm sure will be embarrassed, because very, very soon we are resolving this matter. No one has been duped. Land will be provided. All relevant offices are privy to this issue, that land is there.
The Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry says it is investigating the reported ban of Ndola hydrated lime used in construction by the Malawi Bureau of Standards due to safety concerns. Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Chipoka Mulenga, in a statement Friday, says the Malawi Bureau of Standards has revealed in a statement that it conducted laboratory tests on the hydrated lime and has rejected and banned the further importation of the product. This is based on its non-compliance with the requirements of the Malawian standard, a mandatory standard for limes used in buildings, Part 1, hydrated lime specification. Mr. Mulenga says the ministry was made aware of the development through digital media and regrets the Malawian counterparts did not engage directly or through diplomatic channels. He says the ministry, in collaboration with the National Quality Infrastructure Institutions, which comprise the Zambia Bureau of Standards, ZABS, the Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency, ZCSA, and the Zambia Metrology Agency, ZMA, is assessing the evidence and is in the process of conducting further tests to establish the validity of the findings of the Malawi Bureau of Standards. The minister says the test will assist the ministry to determine whether the concerns raised by the Bureau are genuine or if it is a measure that may be classified as a technical barrier to trade. He says once investigations are completed, the ministry will issue a comprehensive statement on the findings and outline the necessary actions to be taken. The Health Professions Council of Zambia, HPCZ, says that it has noted the issue of attitude among health practitioners, which is affecting the delivery of quality service. HPCZ Public Relations Communications Manager Terry Musonda says the council agrees with the Health Minister Sylvia Masebo's sentiment that institutions of learning should pay attention to the quality of training being given to health workers and not just focus on quantities. Mr. Musonda says the council has since taken a step to ensure that those doing health programs meet the much-needed qualifications to undertake the programs, among other things.
And to that effect, we've been emphasizing that students who are being trained in various training institutions need to be knowledgeable. After being knowledgeable, they need to have those necessary skills and the competencies and practice accordingly. Then we've also noted with concern the issues of food. attitude, and attitude is very critical, and it comes down to the issues of quality, because like the Honorable Minister responsible for health did mention, it's not about the volume, it's not about the quantity of students, but the quality. Human resource for health needs to be highly qualified for them to handle the patient accordingly and in a qualitative manner. So we want to echo what the Minister mentioned, that indeed quality is the way to go, and we hope that as training institutions, they have taken this hit seriously. And to that effect, as HPC said, this is the more reason why we are part and parcel of the training mechanism around. One, we've embarked on what we call student indexing or registration loose report. This is where now all students pursuing particular programs in the health sector, they need to meet necessary minimum standards, minimum entry criteria. This is where now issues of everyone doing a particular program should be at par. Then we're also looking at the issues of professional essential exam as a mechanism which is a quality assurance to ensure that the quality is enhanced. And that's not all. As a regulator, we also go around the country to lecture to these students, especially those who are starting and those who are exiting, that theirs is a noble profession. They need to concentrate. They need to ensure that they have the necessary competence to deliver.
This is Camnet Television Main News. We'll take a break. Join us for international sports news after the break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Hello Zambia. Greetings to all soccer-loving Zambians. I'm Dr. Stenkusi from the Czech Republic, and I will bring with me soccer agent Mr. Jakub Skibik and the coach Mr. Pavel Ondrečka, both from the Czech Republic as well. Football League in the Czech Republic is a qualitative and competitive league in the world. Knowing that, there are a lot of highly talented footballers in Zambia. All of us will be visiting Zambia from the 2nd to 6th of August 2023 in partnership with Camnet Football Academy. Agent and coach will come to Lusaka, Zambia to look at promising young Zambian players. Chances are that hard-working players may get engagement in the Czech Republic and including other European leagues. We look forward to seeing you at the tournament, which will be organized by Pastor Moses Chiruba of Camnet Television. See you soon!
And now in international news, a graphic video of two women being disrobed, paraded and sexually assaulted in the Indian state of Manipur has provoked outrage and condemnation. Since May, there has been violence between the minority Kuki community and the majority Meitei, resulting in nearly 150 deaths. For more in international news, here's a roundup.
A few puffs is all it takes to end up in a trance-like state for up to an hour. The drug is called Kush, a potent mix of chemicals that mimics cannabis. In this smoke-filled room in a shanty town, young Sierra Leoneans have gathered to get their fix. Many are barely in their teens. At around 25 US cents a dose, it's a cheap and easy way to escape reality. In the past few years, Kush has wreaked havoc on the lives of many young people in Sierra Leone.
They say I have to purge my body of this substance. Since I started smoking 5 years ago, my body is now addicted to this thing. I have to buy medication, but I don't have the ability to wean myself off it. so it's difficult for me.
Ibrahim Karoma is a social worker. He thinks kush is one of the most pressing issues facing the young people he works with. He often visits the hideouts where smokers meet up. On this day, Ibrahim speaks to around 100 addicts about the dangers of kush.
Because young people are dying. Young people are dying. We need a speedy and refocused strategy to see how young people are taken from this drug intake. But at the moment, it is quite alarming.
In the face of a mounting crisis, the country's only psychiatric hospital is overrun with addicts brought in by their loved ones, hoping to get them clean.
What we see in the hospital can be likened to the tip of an iceberg, where only the severe cases are being brought. But if you go down to the communities, if you go down to the parks, you go down to the streets, you go down to the ghettos, you will find much more, people using these substances, and the impact has been created on them than what we see here.
But in the face of a highly addictive drug, willpower is not always enough for those being discharged. As resources for follow-up support remain low, relapse rates remain high.
No more kush, no more kush.
Women in the Kuki tribal community in the northeastern state of Manipur set fire to the home of the man accused of sexually assaulting 2 Kuki women in May. Video of the attack, in which the victims were stripped naked, paraded and raped, has only just emerged due to the state's ongoing internet blackout. The attack has sparked outrage across India and led to this show of solidarity from Kukis. Al Jazeera spoke to another victim of kidnapping and sexual assault by what she said was a group of Métis men.
They say that if you run away from us, and if you are safe, if you report at police, or if you put FIR, we will find you out and kill you.
After months of silence about the violence in the region, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken out.
My heart is full of pain, filled with anger. The Manipur incident, which has come to light, is a shameful incident for any civilized society. I want to assure the citizens that those guilty will not be spared. What has happened to the daughters of Manipur can never be forgiven.
But Kuki protesters and activists aren't convinced.
The tribal people in Manipur, the Kuki Zomis, have completely lost faith in the state government. That's no surprise to anybody. But even the central government, the tacit approval or the complicity, we don't even know what it is.
Tensions rose after a court asked the government to give the mostly Hindu-majority Métis community economic and social benefits given to the predominantly minority Christian Kukis. Activists say the Indian government and the United Nations need to do more to stop the violence.
What we are seeing in today's Manipur is one of the darkest times in our history. And what has happened to our sisters, this and so many other unreported cases of sexual assault have been happening in the state of Manipur, not just from 3rd of May onwards, but sexual assault, rape in conflict. Rape has been used as a weapon of war.
A curfew remains in place in the state capital Imphal to ease tensions, while the number displaced by the violence keeps growing. Victoria Gatenby, Al Jazeera.
In our sports news tonight, Copper Queens midfielder Grace Chanda has been ruled out of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup tournament due to illness, as confirmed by team doctor Faith Chiveza. Speaking in an interview from New Zealand, team Dr. Chiveza says Grace is already receiving the much-needed treatment. Dr. Chiveza could not, however, disclose the illness that has ruled Grace out. Grace has since been replaced by elite ladies midfielder Comfort Selemani in the Copper Queens World Cup squad. Grace Chanda becomes the second Copper Queens player to be ruled out after goalkeeper Hazel Nali. Zambia will kick off their World Cup debut campaign tomorrow against Japan in an early breakfast time schedule of 09 hours Central African time at Waikato Stadium. And still in sports news, Oriental Boxing Promotion has announced the hosting of a double belt African Boxing Union ABU fight tournament on the 21st of October 2023. Promotions manager Christopher Malunga says arising from the recently held boxing night, the establishment approached ABU to host a tournament with two successful boxers, David Mwale and Gracious Simwalizi, participating in the double belts among others. Speaking during a press briefing in Lusaka Friday, Mr. Malunga says the ABU tournament is important as it leads to the World Boxing Council WBC, which is arguably the biggest organization to fight in. Meanwhile, Mwale and Simwalizi have expressed happiness for the opportunity to fight at the ABU tournament as it will give them a wonderful exposure for growth.
I spoke to the African Boxing Union for us to promote an two African title fights for David Mwale and Gracious Simwalizi. And I can announce today that the tournament is going to take place for the two ABU title fight. It's going to take place at Government Complex on the 21st of October this year. And immediately we are going to start marketing the fight to make sure that we attract a lot of sponsors to come on board, because I feel that now we are going to go back to the same system which we used to use before. We'll make sure that the boxers are marketed, well marketed. The tournament also is well marketed for us to increase the numbers inside the venue. And I can assure you that there'll be a very, very, very good tournament, international tournament, involving these boxers and all the boxers, our boxers who fought on that day, on the 15th, are going to take part, because I feel that they need to be given another chance to make sure that they prove themselves. But Alfred, Gracious and Davy, I can confirm they are going for the African titles in the bantamweight and super bantamweight. So Alfred will go in, Davy will go into super bantam, Gracious super bantamweight, then Davy bantamweight. We cannot do.
I'm already back in the gym, working out. Because every opponent is a different opponent, so I need to work extra hard for this coming fight. It feels, yeah, it puts me under pressure, so I need to work extra hard, and also I also feel good that at least I'm being recognized through my hard work, so I'll keep on working hard.
To end Camnet Television main news, the top stories once again. 4,000 MUMBWA residents at the verge of losing land to an investor. Vice President attributes the rise in MEALIE-MEAL prices to greediness by millers. The court issues another arrest warrant against KAIZER ZULU. In international news, women in India set fire to house of Manipur assault main suspect. And in sports news, Copper Queens midfielder CHANDA ruled out of the World Cup. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 1. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. And that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.